Yo, what is up, Primetime Squad? Mark here to talk about Dave Metzler and his WrestleMania Night 1 and Night 2 star ratings. Now, here's the thing. I want to go ahead and preface this by letting everyone know that I don't think you should put stock into whatever Dave Metzler is saying in terms of his perception of a show or a match. Not saying that Dave Metzler isn't a respected person in the business. I don't care if he is or isn't, doesn't matter to me. And I don't think his ratings should matter to anyone else, right? I feel like a lot of people take what he says as either law or gospel when he's just giving his opinion on a match. And I feel like as long as you enjoyed WrestleMania, or if you didn't like WrestleMania, his opinion should not change how you felt about a show or a match or a storyline or a segment on a wrestling show or anything at that matter. I think that's where a lot of people get lost at, is that when you have someone who is considered a journalist or someone who is considered a reviewer or whatever on certain entertainment mediums, people tend to feel like their words hold more weight than their actual enjoyment on a show. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like you shouldn't do that, right? But nonetheless, we're up here to talk about these WrestleMania ratings. Once again, though, not saying that I agree with everything that he's put out here, not saying that I disagree. And no one else has to, right? It is all just an opinion. It is all just a perception on your enjoyment of a storyline or a segment or match, right? So we're going to get started with this, man. Night 1, his WrestleMania star ratings here. I'm pulling these straight from the god-forsaken app called Twitter, X, whatever. Don't know why people still use social media like that, for real. It is a waste of time. Regardless of that, Dave Meltzer's star ratings for Night 1 goes as follows. He gave Rhea Ripley and Becky Lynch for the Women's World Championship a 4.25 star rating match. Me and Arlo gave our tier list ranking pretty much every single match from Night 1 and Night 2 of WrestleMania. I will have that link down below so you can go check those out, by the way. But we didn't really care for this match, to be honest. So, like, I disagree with the 4.25 stars. But that's just us. That's our opinion, and these are his opinions. So it doesn't really matter, right? He gave the ladder match, that was the 6-pack tag team challenge ladder match for both the Raw and SmackDown tag team championships. He gave that a 4.25. I thought that match was fun. I thought that match was really fun. A lot of good spots in that match overall. But once again, I think that's a little too high in my personal opinion. Rey Mysterio and Andrade versus Dom and Santos Escobar. He gave that a 3.7 out of 5. I think I would mostly agree with that, to be perfectly honest with you. He gave Jay and Jimmy 0.75. Hey, I thought the match wasn't that good either, to be honest with you. But 0.75 is crazy. That is exceptionally low. But hey, it is what it is. It wasn't, I don't think anyone would come up here and tell you that Jay and Jimmy put on a barn burner of a match, right? Maybe someone out there believes that. Maybe someone's out there saying, yeah, Jimmy, yeah, Jay, you were not your brother's keeper, oos. I don't know. But for me personally, it existed. It was definitely a match at WrestleMania. Jaden Bianca and Naomi versus Damage Control, 2 stars. I mostly agree with that as well. That match wasn't really anything to write home about. It was mainly just a showcase match for Jade Cargill. So it existed and it did its purpose. It did its job. So no issues there whatsoever. Sami Zayn and Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship. That was a 4.5 by Dave. I agree with that one as well. I think that if you gave them a little bit more time, they could have put out a 5-star match. That was, if we didn't get what we got on Night 2, in my personal opinion, this would have been probably the best match at WrestleMania. But they went out there and killed it. No matter what you think about the finish, if Chad Gable should have been the one, or Sami Zayn was the right person, or if Gunther should have retained, doesn't matter. The fact is, they went out there and killed it, man. They went out there and put on a clinic, y'all. Lastly, we have the Bloodline versus Cody Rhodes and Seth freaking Rollins. He gave that a 4-star rating. I agree with that one as well. the one thing that I don't understand when it comes to ratings is what is the point of like the 2.5 or like 4.75 or 4.83? I don't really understand those personally as to why those exist. I feel like just having a one solid number rating is fine. Like if you're giving it 2.5, you might as well give it a 5 because you're not even set on giving it a 4, right? Like, so I think those numbers are just there as like cop out numbers personally. Once again, it's not a knock on Dave Metzler. That's a knock on the entire like ratings system that we have. It's very dumb to me personally. Just settle on a number. And that's pretty much that. So those are his ratings for night one. We move over to night two here, and we have these following ratings for night two of WrestleMania 40. You had Seth and Drew. He gave that a 3.5 star. Um, the thing with that match is I feel like it was really good from the sense of like it's just finisher, curve stomp. What's Drew's finisher? Claymore. I was going to call it the South of Heaven. I'm thinking about Sasuke Taker. My fault, y'all. But Claymore kick, curve stomp, Claymore kick, curve stomp. They were going crazy. And that's kind of all that match was. But I don't think anyone was bored at work. LOL, right? But yeah, it was a good match. I don't think it was anything special, but it was a good match. He gave the Pride in the Final Testament 1.75. That's 1 star rating more than Jimmy and Jay had, right? Like me and Arlo said, though, this match was better than it had any right to be, right? It wasn't anything that was going to make you, pop out of your seat. I thought Snoop Dogg's commentary was a 5 out of 5 stars. That should have been Dave Metzler approved, baby. But I know how like he feels about, you know, color commentary these days or whatever, but that's his prerogative. Who am I to judge him on how he feels about a certain segment, right? But 1.75, I don't really have any issues with that at all. LA Knight and AJ Styles 3.5. Once again, I 100% agree with that one. Going into this, I didn't really have like high expectations for LA Knight and AJ Styles. And don't get it twisted. I think AJ's a great performer. I think LA Knight is one of those beacons of light there in WWE right now. But I think sometimes LA Knight can be hit or miss in the ring. We know AJ is phenomenal, no pun intended, right? In the ring, but it just came down to would these two guys click at WrestleMania? And they did. I thought they delivered a exceptional match, no issues whatsoever. So 3.5, I can't really hate on that one, to be honest. Logan Paul, Randy Orton, Kevin Owens, United States Championship match. Dave gave that one a 4.25 out of 5 stars. Once again, I don't really see the issues here. I don't really see the issues with this one at all, to be honest. Uh, Once again, I agree with everything Dave Meltzer is putting out here for night two so far. Bailey and Io, that was a 4.5 for Dave Meltzer as well. You know how I feel about that match. I thought those two girls went out there and killed it. If they would have been the night one main event, if we didn't have The Rock coming back and Roman and Cody, this could have easily been the main event of night one, maybe even night two. I think a lot of people were surprised, maybe taken back at how good that match actually was. And I feel like, honestly, y'all, if I'm being real, too many people watch wrestling and just forms of entertainment, not as like enjoyment, but they watch it as like with their critique glasses on, trying to find and nitpick and see what's good and what's not good. And that's been my whole problem with like a lot of stuff in the community of wrestling is that everyone wants to have an opinion. And I feel like a hypocrite saying that, but it's true, right? Because like everyone should just like kind of take off the critique glasses for a little bit, the journalist glasses for a little bit, and just watch professional wrestling, y'all. Like it doesn't really need to be broken down and analyzed to like the highest degree. You don't need a PhD to watch wrestling. It's not that serious. It never was that deep. And it never should be that deep, right? But I thought those two girls went out there and killed it. Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes. I know this is where a lot of people were upset about. And this goes back to my whole thing about 0.75, 0.5, 0.25 ratings are completely stupid. They're dumb to me, right? He gave this a 4.75 out of 5. To me, that's a 5-star, baby. That's a 5-star. I know people were on Twitter because I saw it in the Discord that we have that people were not happy about seeing that rating at all. They were like, "This is a classic, guys. This is amazing." Me personally, I thought this was a 5-star classic, boys. Right? I thought Roman and Cody were cooking. I thought they were cooking with every seasoning and sauce they had in the pantry that they could get their hands on. But Dave Meltzer obviously thought different. Once again, y'all, that is Dave Meltzer's opinion. His opinion should not be affecting your enjoyment of a match, a segment, a show, anything of that nature. If it is, that is a you problem, and you need to work on that. Okay. But once again, the point still stands that if you're giving it a 4.75 out of 5, you might as well give it a 5. At that point, you're just saying, yeah, there was like maybe one thing, maybe Cody Rhodes was a little bit too slow walking to the ring or something. I don't know. Like, what's the difference between a 4.75, and a 5? Really not that big of a difference, right? So I don't know, man. I don't know what the whole uproar is about Dave Meltzer and everything going on there with him and his star ratings, but to me, it doesn't seem that like controversial, to be honest. For the most part, I do agree with a lot of these ratings here that he did put out. But once again, that's just me, right? I do still think Jimmy and Jay getting a 0.75 is nuts. That is wild. I'm not saying it was a good match once again, but that is still just like I can't stop thinking about that, to be honest with y'all. But yeah, once again, I gotta keep throwing this out there. Don't let journalists in wrestling, anyone out there ruin how you feel about a match. Don't let's say you thought Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes was the worst, most overbooked match in WWE history, right? Let's say if that's the case. Don't let Dave Meltzer's 4.75 make you think, well, maybe I'm the problem. Maybe something's wrong with me for not liking that match, right? And don't let me giving it a instant classic rating, in my opinion, has enjoyment, make you think, well, yeah, something's wrong with me, man. If the primetime collective people over there gave it a 5-star, then maybe I need to rewatch the match. No, you gave it a chance and you didn't like it, and that's fine, right? If you did like it and you agree with us on it being a 5-star legendary classic match, great, fantastic. I know the whole thing about Dave being biased towards AEW is a thing that a lot of people are kind of like latching their teeth into, right? And I get that. I get that, right? But once again, no one is necessarily right in their opinions on wrestling or entertainment, because at the end of the day, it is entertainment. What I find to be good, you might not find to be good, right? And I think if a lot of people just like watch something, went along with their day, stayed off the internet, and didn't have to go into discourse about every single thing that they see on the internet, we would have a much better community, not just in wrestling, but across the board, right? The whole quote of we as a society would be so much better if that was the case, right? But you got to remember, social media, all these different platforms have gave everyone an opportunity to discuss their feelings. And I don't think there is anything inherently wrong with it, but it is a problem when you see people online just like day in, day out, 24/7, having to either defend WWE or defend AEW. Like, look, I'm not getting paid by either one of them. I wish I was. And if I was, I would be up here going crazy right now. Like, how dare you give Roman and Cody a 4.7? You better change that right now. You better get back in the kitchen, cook up something else, and give me a 5-star right now, bitch. But no, I'm not going to do that because I'm not on a payroll. Like, I don't care, right? But some people do. Some people don't, right? But those are my thoughts on Dave Meltzer and his ratings and why you should not care. And they don't matter in the grand scheme of things when it comes to your enjoyment. Let me know how y'all feel about that in the comment section down below. Do not forget, in about 4 or 5 hours, maybe even 3, when this video goes live, we will be live over on Twitch and YouTube at the same time for our SmackDown watch along. And reaction. So join us on YouTube or Twitch, whichever you prefer, and we'll see y'all then. Until then, though, have a great rest of your day until we get to SmackDown, and I'll see y'all there. Thanks for watching. Catch you later. Until next time, peace.